So this has begun to bother me lately. In my haste to complete track work, some base scenery, add little detail, the concrete and the bare drywall got to me, and I needed to do something to it. One of the things I envision for back here is, because this is the back of the layout, when you look at the whole thing, is probably make some type of wooded ridges through here, because the idea is that this part of the layout is like trees and hills and ridges and stuff like that before we get more into like farmland or whatever. That's the vision anyway. Also, due to the fact that there's very little room to work with, and that's by design, because these two tracks are meant to be, one is a continuous loop or part of a continuous loop, and the other is a second segment that will kind of go end to end, and a little bit of a dog bone, if you will. So I thought it would work really well to put a backdrop in here with wooded terrain and to match the overall theme. And with that, I had an idea. So I visited our friendly Menards store, popular home improvement big box kind of store in the Midwest, and went to their kind of leftover sections. And I got this section of hardboard. It's about 8 feet long and about 24 inches wide for $3. So I was pretty excited about that. Masonite hardboard. I think it'll take paint. If not, we're going to have to we're going to have to prime it and then paint it, which I'll eventually do. But for this purpose, just to get something back there, we're going to use this for now. Okay, to help us out on our backdrop project, good old Amazon came through with this color paper, so it'll look like okay against that. Again, it's a temporary backdrop, maybe just fine. It's about $10, a little bit lighter than I want, but I have seen where if you want to photograph your stuff, is to have a little bit lighter color, because the camera will make it dark. But we're going to go ahead and mount it and see what we can do. The backboard I've flipped over, and this is the rough or non-paintable side. I'd be painting this side when the time comes, but in case this whole experiment fails, I won't worry about messing up this side. Well, I hope this works. So the spray says it allows for easy repositioning. We'll see. And even though it is a temporary setup, I don't want to totally destroy this. Well, not too bad. The dark you see there is just a shadow. Turned out fairly decent, and even you could see it in real life to what it shows in the camera. The blue is not bad to have a basic sky mount. Couple little wrinkles in there, but I am not concerned with, again, the temporary nature of this. One thing you had to be careful for is, as I pick this up, because it's light duty adhesive, it did induce some wrinkles into it. But hey, I think for a temporary backdrop, that's not bad. So here in our swamp, I've added some sculpted mold and then the little rivulets of water, which eventually will get some type of, epoxy water effect in there, or resin, I should say, just to give it a little more effect. The culvert at this very moment is waiting to be airbrushed, but I'm out of air, so it'll have to wait. And then what I did is I just put a very light coat of green at the base here. So when the water rises and lowers, it leaves kind of a mossy algae stuff on there. Just, again, to add a little more detail. As I proceeded to work on this area, I was happy with the effect, and obviously the glue mixture worked really well. You can see how tough it is to take these rocks out. Something just didn't look right. So I'm not completely happy with the height of this. I'm happy for the effect and adding some extra paint on there to kind of make it look a little more natural. But as I've contemplated this over the weeks, I thought perhaps the riprap effect on here was a bit high. So you can see over here I've already begun to deconstruct some of this rock, and obviously I'll have to patch this up and repaint it, but that'll be fine. And I'll add some other effects in here like brush and stuff like that to round it up. But I think having that be a little bit lower will be a good thing. After the rock removal, I went through a sculpted mold, replaced the culvert, provided adequate elevation for it, and now I think we have something we can work with. I think the lower height on the riprap is a little more appropriate to the scale. It doesn't look so huge. And once we put our resin in and add detail like grass, brush, those kind of things will make this look pretty cool.